What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and we are exactly where we left off here in the Outer Worlds. I want to say this is part 18, maybe 19. We'll see. So it wants us to go all the way back to town, and I don't really know why it let us out up there, but in any event, we can fast travel, so we're going to do that rather than subject you to the most confusing route ever. I'm glad I got a bunch of fast travel locations because, man, it took a lot to get there. There's this like big mountain in the middle. So, yeah. We will fast travel on back. I mean, I get it. When you think about like Fallout, you do a lot of wandering, but this has been a lot more on rails. Not necessarily on rails, but like it's been way more like, you know, way more straightforward, if you will. All right, so now we need to search the outpost. It wants us.
If I never smell another raft, it'll be too soon.
Now we did a lot of this in the first video here,
Sure.
but I don't believe I ever went in this building.
I'm with you there.
No wait, I think it's got me going back to my ship. Yeah, I think it wants me to go back to my ship. Interesting. Oh, that's because we're on the companion quest. Let's go back to here.
Have the courtesy to wait a while before their bodies start.
All right. So we had to come back here anyway. So let's go back here first. Oh, no, it has me going back out into town, doesn't it? Right here. Zang Emporium. Oh, that's where we haven't been in here yet, actually. Ah, there he is.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it down.
Oh, this is a back door. I don't want to talk to him yet. I want to see if I can. Oh. Something tells me I'm not supposed to use that terminal. At least we're inconspicuous. Alright, worst thing that's gonna happen is they're gonna yell at me. Alright. Weird. Oh. I don't want to do that. Alright, let's just sell all of our junk. Which we got like exactly 3 gold for. I have to be close to the achievement. I don't really use this, so later. I'm gonna hold the 2 different flamethrowers though. Get rid of the light machine gun. I don't know why this has like the gold aspect to it, so whatever. Let's get rid of it. Do I really need 4 flamethrowers. There it is. Everything must go. 10,000 bits worth of... That actually, like, startled me a little bit. Excuse me, how am I on achievements? 9 out of 48. Alright, we gotta talk to this dude.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
You'd be a hit in Byzantium.
Did you hear that power play, Celia? They don't make them like this anymore in Halcyon. I only hope you don't judge me by my handshake. Now, what business brings you here? What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits in Halcyon. Not outside Tartarus prison, anyway. Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Only, I take it this means you aren't here for Saltuna. Oh, a shame. I'd been saving a bottle of iceberg-aged whiskey for an occasion like this. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for the folks left behind.
And now you don't have to play by their rules. Sounds like a deal to me.
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Indeed. Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Ingenious plan? Don't get me wrong, I'm starting to admire your sand, but I bet you could overcomplicate a sisty sandwich.
What a charmingly roguish turn of phrase. Allow me to express my thanks at your confidence and assure you that my plan is indeed sufficiently complicated.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
And a Mantisaur problem, and a Marauder problem.
Many, many problems, but they can all be solved with a Bolt 52 cartridge. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy could be this interesting.
It is quite the rush. In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Ah, why is my perception not that good?
Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. What can I do for you? You think we're the problem? Have you even heard the nonsense Graham is spewing? It isn't easy keeping a town like Stellar Bay afloat, especially without the board's backing. We need that frequency to reach our trading partners. Indeed. That's why it's imperative that MSI be reinstated onto the board. And the first step is getting the Bolt 52. I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff? Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you? Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes. I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws. Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. Back then, it was known as Terra 1. As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards.
That ain't fair. They didn't leave on account of the hazards. They left on account of their cowardice. The hazards just gave them a reason to put to paper.
Sharp as ever, Nyoka. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out. Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. Ah, so you've heard about our prior acquaintance.
Oh.
As far as I'm concerned, the less said about Graham, the better. Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago, and we both agreed that MSI's treatment of its workers was untenable. I thought reforms would be enough. I didn't realize you wanted to abolish the corporate system entirely. Reforms are humane, but they're also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI.
Must have pissed off some real big suits to get stuck with that.
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of top MSI officials before I was able to achieve this position. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't think I realized how far they'd stoop. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently. Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Yeah, that'd go a long way toward rebuilding our homes.
If you can't beat him, might as well join him and reach into their pockets.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation. I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
It's straight bullshit is what it is. A fabrication rich folks use to preserve their investments, by leaving a lot of people here to die slow.
Nyoka has the right of it. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous. For the greater good. Allegedly. Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way. Well, technically, he may have suggested it, but he certainly wasn't doing the paperwork himself. Technically, he does. What exactly are you accusing me of?
Man, everything's just far enough away.
Until we're back on the board, I need to run those advertisements. If there's no business on Monarch, then we all starve. Hiram included. Besides, Graham's the one you should really be concerned about. His propaganda does nothing but crowd the frequency. What can I do for you?
Alright. So we need to do Bolt with his name. Let's see if we can just fast travel there. Alright. Let's do this first because I know I can complete it. Just over here. He did. She's not gonna care.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbows in salt tuna guts.
Who spat in your spirits, Velma?
You notice my mood? I'm surprised you can see straight today.
I could be seeing triple and I'd still think you're being unkind. I just might find it funnier.
Will you try wrangling half a ton of dead fish with decades-old equipment and see what it does for your disposition? Anyway, what do you folks need? That he's got his load on and I'm stuck covering his shift? That's... Wow. I sure feel like an ass now. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on Catherine herself. Still, it's good to know what happened to him. And that I ought to start looking for a replacement. Something else on your mind? Caleb Herrick runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and turning dials. He and his whole crew walked out. Say they won't come back unless I pay them more. You mind slapping him around a little while you're at it? I'm joking. Mostly. Unless you can do it without hurting his job performance. If you can find a way to get him back to work, I'll make it worth your while. Check the yacht club. He's usually there. Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again, I've got nothing to say. I don't have the bits for it, plain and simple. Besides, if I make an exception for him, I gotta do the same for everyone. Hard workers? They turn dials and flip switches. The machines do all the actual work. Caleb and his crew have it better than anyone else around here, I'll tell you that much. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire sublight contractors at this rate.
Oh, I gotta stop.
Maybe so, but I bet you Caleb runs out of bits first. Then he'll have to come back. He says he's got a stash to tide his crew over. Could be he's all talk, but if the money's real, I bet you he keeps it at home. Near the diner. Fine by me.
Alright. So, I need to level up again. That's really all there is to it. Wait, is there a workbench in here? I need a workbench pretty badly.
There you go. I got your caffeinoid pills.
You're a lifesaver. Hope Abigail didn't give you a hard time.
Just the usual. Any word on Braxton?
Nothing. Don't know how much longer I can cover for him either.
Alright. So, light machine gun. Alright, let's install mods. Critical damage. Plasma. Let's do N-ray. I don't know exactly what that is, but better range, huge scope. All right. And then if we go into here, where was that 5 minutes ago? All right. So basically, we just massively improved that armor.
Give me those pills, will ya?
Oh wait, actually, let's tinker. I forgot tinker was a thing. Oh, wow, that lowered the damage significantly. I guess I can't tinker with it anymore. Oh, snap. It lets me keep tinkering with it. Wow, up to level 59? That's crazy. Wow, my armor is going to be intense.
Here you go. You know, you might consider a real night's sleep instead.
Wow, so my armor is pretty serious right now, I think. I don't really know. Let's just get out of town. Alright, so let's go to journal. We need a bolt with his name on it first. And let's figure out where that needs us. Alright, so that's actually going right over here into town, which we've already kind of been to, I think. Oh, it wants us to go over there. Alright, so this is a door we haven't been out yet.
Stellar Bay. Only place on the planet that don't stink of sulfur. On account of it stinking like fish instead.
Am I the only one getting hungry?
Oh, maybe we have been out. Yeah, we have been out here. Because we were in that church, but I didn't go up here, I don't think. Alright. Nothing big up here, just a little taking of things. So yeah. We've already explored all of this because this is where that cannibal family was. But we did not go over this bridge. Remember, I don't know if you remember because you probably didn't even watch it, but maybe you did. We got all the way up to this point right here. And I was like, oh, we're going the opposite direction. Because see, we looked at that. So let's turn around and go the other way. Alright, so we need to get in that building. I think that is why I lost a lot of juice on this gun. There's definitely something in here to battle. So it wants me to delete them all. I don't know if I want to do that yet. I want to like take them if we're being honest. Do I want to delete them all? Let's just go upstairs, because I have a feeling we're about to get in a firefight. Ah.
Hello? Hello? I hear boots out there. Wait, can rats wear boots? Get away! Oh, thank the Eternal. I'm Huxley. Hux if you're lazy. I'm stuck. My friends and I were scavenging here, and a Meta Queen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void-blasted mess. I ran in here and, now the door's locked. Little help? Easier than it sounds, alright? Next time you get chased by Raptidons, you let me know the rationality of your decisions. Phew. Thanks, mister. My buddy had a key, but I ain't heard him in a while. He locked me in here and took off. Probably got munched. So look for a dead guy, I guess. Or a rat. Maybe it's in a rat belly. Gross. Sure. Beats not answering questions. Huxley. I'm an Iconoclast runner. The Iconoclast runner. Fastest we've got. Ain't a Raptidon on this void-forsaken hellhole that can catch me. I'm... Sorry. Put me in a tiny room like this and I'm liable to flip. Not keen on tight spaces, you know? Oh, that'd be my people. Graham and Zora and Milton and... I really miss them. You gonna let me out of here? I want to get back to Amber Heights. My buddy locked me in here. I told you that. It was for my safekeeping, on account of Raptidons wanting to munch on my head. But, I mean, okay, yes, fine. I get myself into sticky situations. It's just part of the life, all right? Sometimes you gotta hide in a trash can so you don't get eaten by monsters. Oh, neither was I. Who'd hide in a trash can? Gross. Probably. I don't know. When I try to read things, my mind gets to wandering about all the things I could be doing instead. Get me out of here! What do you mean? It's locked. Wait, upward? Oh, my eternal soul, it worked!
Ah, phew. Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and I think maybe I was gonna die. Now I'm out here, and I'm headed back to Amber Heights.
Still landing yourself in trouble, eh, Hux?
Oh, hi, Nyoka. You mind giving me an escort back home? Oh, you're traveling with someone. Never mind. Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy and... Hey, who's your identical, slightly blurry friend? But I ain't got nothing on me. How's about a heaping helping of appreciation and respect? That's true. Okay, fine. Here. Thanks a lot, mister.
Alright, so the question becomes, do I want to wipe? I don't trust Sanjar. And it's basically saying that he... I don't know. I gotta go down here anyway. I believe it was basically saying that, you know, hey, Sanjar is padding his numbers. So I can see why he wants it replaced. Maybe I can use it if I... Oh. Actually, let's sleep. Because it clears any, like, negative effects off of you. You know what? We're just going to go wipe it. Might as well get the optional part done. We got extra XP out of it anyway. And honestly, that's all that matters to me is getting XP. Is it dead?
To shreds, you say?
I guess we'll take the long way back. It isn't even necessarily the long way. It's just a different way. Alright, there's gotta be a reason it wanted me up here.
Take him down. Shield him, Captain.
There's something else down there. Maybe this is just another way. Yeah, I don't understand why they want me to come up here. There's literally nothing up here, like, at all.
Incoming.
Where? Oh.
I am a storm. Here we go. Down they go.
One more left.
Here we go. Don't mess with us.
Oh. I don't know how it hit me from there. Oh, because I'm standing in it. That's the problem. Look at that. Like, did no damage because I did so much upgrades to my armor. Back here. I miss Parvati. Like, I like her a lot, but I feel like these two are way more useful. This isn't my ship, is it? Whose ship is this? Parking out on the outside of town. What are you hiding? Alright, let's go back into town. Return to Sanjar. Oh, nice. Hadn't been here yet. Just go in. All right.
Well, I see you've had a sobering effect on our friend Nyoka.
Sir, please stop.
Forgive me, Celia. I couldn't help myself. Anyway, what can I do for you? You weren't supposed to look. I asked you to delete it. I didn't mean for any harm to come to you. This has been my albatross. The great shame of my career. I give MSI everything. My work, my youth, my left kidney, and for years, I was a joke to them. One of the executives required a transplant.
He's lucky they didn't want a liver or a heart.
I thought volunteering to donate might improve my prospects. Apparently not. In charge of a scrap heap of a city, abandoned by the board and surviving only through the hypocrisy of our trading partners. I hadn't thought of it that way. But perhaps there's something to that. Thank you for that. Was there something else? Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Try to control yourself, sir.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less. What a question! Bureaucratic micromanagement is the only way anything gets done in Halcyon, and proper documentation is a key part of that. For our part, a bill of liquidation/transfer Form 52 will protect our holdings on Monarch by temporarily assigning them to a pass-through entity once we drop our bomb on the board. Sort of. Really, we're just going to blackmail them into offering us a seat at the table.
But really, whatever gets you excited about the idea? It's definitely a firm middle finger.
That's what I like to hear. I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is operating on Monarch, illegally and in secret.
Really? Most of the time they do illegal stuff out in the open. Cheaper that way.
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our Bolt 52 and reinstate us on the board. You really think so?
Don't encourage him.
I admit, I've been hatching this scheme for quite some time. I just needed someone capable to help me carry it out. If someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are. Oh, I imagine you do. But as much as I love your can-do attitude and dangerous gravitas, Catherine handles all of our shipments. So it would be best if you could leave her in one piece. Is that how you people put it? Once you, subtly work out where this corporate facility might be, bring back proof of its operation. Maybe some nice letterhead. Or someone working there. That would do it. A foolproof plan if I ever heard one. I'll leave the execution to you.
All right, so I'm actually coming around on him. So we'll go ahead and end it here, and we will infiltrate the business next. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see ya.